Got it.
Okay, so we're here with Mary and Jacob for this next part of the Legacy series, and this opportunity is never been more relevant. And I had a chat in the Forever Young Dream Team and the thread that kicked off about 5 or 6 years ago, and we were talking about the relevancy of a health and wellness-based company, something that can improve digestive health, give people access to high vibration plants from around the world, help promote a really powerful immune system from within, plus allow people to earn a secondary source of income by tuning into this abundant shared economy, which allows us to work from home. And I think we're going to be isolated for the next couple of weeks with the coronavirus, or maybe months anyway. So it's never been more relevant. And I think people have never needed us more than now. Obviously just a small piece of the puzzle, but we want to unpack Mary and Jacob's story and really get to know a little bit about how they fell into this. Mary as a teacher, Jacob as a personal trainer from Perth, Fremantle, West Australia, where I was from too. And I remember when I actually got started with partnering with Isagenix and partnering with Peter Kelly. That was the thing. Like, you essentially partner with the people that you start with, right? And I remember there was a week where Peter was like, "Hey, I've got this amazing personal trainer and this teacher that want to get started this week." And I've been kind of sitting there as a health professional, physio, working with allied health teams, with all teams, sorry. And I just remember the urgency. She was like, "Do you want them to be in your team, or would you like to be in their team?" And I think that was part of it, but it was just like, whoa, like I kind of get the vision of where this is going, but man, I need to do this for my health anyway. And I pulled the trigger and got started, and 6 years later, here we are. And the coolest thing I think about their story is you guys got to Ice a Millionaire before me. So the whole like pyramid scheme thing is just out the window, because you guys got there about 2 years before me, which shows that it's all about the impact and the collective impact you can have and your ability to really serve and to really generate income based on that. So, guys, I want to hand over to you. Thanks so much for taking the time, and welcome, Mary. Welcome, Jacob.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rory. That was awesome. Yeah, I remember Peter was chatting about you at a catch up I had with her as well. And yeah, unfortunately, I took a bit longer to start than you did. So, but no, it all worked out well in the end. So yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, you touched on it well. I wanted to touch on everything that's been going on just briefly with what we have. And before I get into my story, I guess, yeah, as Rory said, we're so lucky to have what we have, and we're super grateful for it. And to have a system that we know is like just boosting our immune system every single day. We're lucky that we have that. Yes, now is an incredible time to help people, show them the products, show them the business. But, I know I don't need to say this, but let's make sure we do it in a really elegant way. Some people are going through a lot of stuff, and they will be going through a lot of stuff, potentially losing jobs, income slashed, all that sort of stuff. So if, sometimes the first and most important thing to do is just reach out and genuinely ask if they're okay. And, because this is a time where sometimes it can be a lot deeper for people than just, do this business or try network marketing. You might need to really uncover a lot more from that person and get a good understanding. And yeah, I mean, we're super lucky to have a business. You look at some of the business that are struggling, we're super lucky. It's just they've always said no, marketing's the perfect storm, but I think the perfect storm is having the business attached to something consumable, a consumable product. So having Isagenix, we can have that every single day. It's food. Food's never going to be a problem for people, and we get it delivered. So having that coming in all the time, yeah, we're super lucky, and you guys should be really, really thankful to have what we have. So yeah, pour kindness into people, reach out to people, and let's do our best to help those around us and that we care about.
And Jacob, just touching on that, my man, a lot of people don't know this as well, but Isagenix is a privately owned company, so it's not actually connected with a lot of the markets and a lot of the noise going out there. And this is something really important to note because, even during the GFC in 2008, Isagenix, and we have to get the exact stats on this, but they were one of the only companies to actually grow during that period because they weren't connected with all the noise and all the other stuff that was going on. So it is something just to really be aware of and know that you're in a beautiful space. And you're right, health is key, and people are going to be looking for a way to earn an extra $100 or $200 a week to cover mortgage repayments and things like that. And like you said, keep everything attraction and permission based. Don't overpromise. We've got more than enough here to support people, and let's inspire them with your story. So take it away.
Thanks, Rory.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'll get into my story. My story is very similar to Mary's, as we're both on this journey together. So she'll touch on hers after on a health side of things. But for me, I mean, going back over 7 years ago now, I was in the fitness industry. I got into that profession because I loved helping people. I love fitness. And to be honest, it just looks like a really cruisy lifestyle, like a bit of work, bit of fun, keeping fit, maybe go on the beach during the day, all that sort of stuff. So I got into that. And it was a really good job early on. You know, I really loved it, loved the lifestyle in my early 20s. And I guess things started to change more towards my mid-20s. So as I was getting towards my mid-20s, I noticed a lot of things like my bills, my expenses, all that sort of stuff was going up, you know, on a weekly basis for me. But my income was staying the same. So I was constantly having to try and make ends meet on a weekly basis, you know, having food rations, like trying to figure out how many things I could buy from the grocery store, you know, running around in my car, you know, on fuel light, scrounging change in the car, like coins, all that sort of stuff, getting like $8 together just to get me by, be able to get to work, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I was massively struggling each week to week, you know, and I mean, even in my friends circle at the time, I was known as a sort of struggling PT that was always asking to borrow money, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I was happy I was doing something I love, but financially I was massively stressed. And then from there, it started to play a big impact on my health. So I wasn't sleeping well. I was not, you know, getting good results from my workouts. I was, you know, just feeling quite flat with my clients, and on a day-to-day basis, it was starting to take a toll. Obviously, I thought there may be something out there for me to perhaps improve things, but I didn't know what. And it wasn't until I remember Peter reached out to Mary at the time and wanted to meet up with me because she knew I was in the fitness industry and all that sort of stuff. I didn't know her at all. Mary kind of knew her from the sort of partying days, but yeah, she ended up booking in a meeting with me. On that day, I remember chatting to one of Mary's friends, and I said, "Oh, I have a meeting with this girl, Peter. Do you know her?" And she said, "Oh, yeah, she's probably going to try and like talk to you about this thing she's passionate about." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And so I instantly went into that meeting with maybe a little bit of a skeptical mindset. You know, and she came down to that meeting and she showed me a little about the company. I think she was probably maybe 2-star at the time. I think probably about 2-star, and she just mapped things out for me. I thought maybe I thought I was pretty healthy. Thought I maybe knew a bit better, and I just didn't get a full understanding yet. So it took her to invite me to another event after that. One of those crazy science ones she was talking about at Celebration, for those that you were there, where she waffled on about all the science and the human body and all that sort of stuff. Again, like it was a bit of information for me, but it wasn't enough for me to start. And I guess those that are listening right now, you know, understand and take note, you know, because it doesn't always take that first initial exposure for people to start. So it took me a while. So let's move on to the next exposure to it. It was another cafe catch up, and it got to the point where, you know, I knew a little bit about the company. I watched a few videos, and Peter sat me down and she asked me, like, you know, if you could do, you know, anything you wanted to do right now, what would you love to be doing? And I said, you know, maybe working a bit less and traveling more. And from that moment on, she was able to draw out the compensation plan for me. I was able, you know, just the U+2, like them +2, you share, they share. I was able to put my friends' names in those circles so it could, you know, just feel believable for me. And because it took me so like freaking long to start, I was really ready. So I said yes, because I just thought, well, you know, if not this, then what? Like, it'd be crazy not to try it. Plus, I knew I'd be able to get my next pack for free because I knew I could share it with 2 people from the get-go. So got home. When Mary got home from work, I said, look, I'm starting on this. You're starting. When's your next payday? Like, we're doing this together. So she was my first person just to start with. And then I called up one of my mates and I said, look, like, I know you've been struggling with your health and you got to do this with me. So bang, I was able to get, you know, that $370 to be able to pay off my next pack as well, from the get-go. So I think I hit consultant in under 48 hours. And then from there, I guess I was able to share it with a few people. So I guess it was just something that I thought I could maybe earn a few extra $100 with, get some free supplements, because I was already taking supplements. So I was like, well, if I can get this stuff for free, that's going to be epic. So I was just doing that in my spare time that I had as a personal trainer. And then 5 months went by just doing that exact same thing, just sharing it with people I knew, just steadily, not super fast. And then what started to happen was Peter mentioned that she'd entered us into this ISA Derby, which to win that was, you know, flights to Vegas to a big convention over there. So I knew I was in that, but didn't think, you know, at all I would be winning it and would be winning it. It got to the point, I think there was probably about 2 weeks to go at the end of that ISA Derby. So there's 2 weeks left. I think we needed to enroll like maybe 3 or 4 people. And Peter said, look, like, if you want to go, you just need to enroll these amount of people and you'll be able to go. And we did, and we just got there. We were directors, and yeah, we won that all expenses paid trip to the US, to Vegas, to Celebration. And I guess that was the biggest and most impactful turning point in our business, hands down. Going to that event, you know, I'd really never ever traveled much at all. I'd been to Bali once, that was it. So going to that event, seeing all the different, you know, people that we'd watched in videos, I guess, the Cougars, like John Anderson, like Chris and Laurie Harder, all those sort of people, just seeing them like walk across stage, hitting Millionaire, all sorts of ages, people hitting Millionaire, like all sorts of athletes achieving epic results, like former NFL players. And I guess what that did for me is it really solidified how lucky and privileged I am to be in this position. And it also gave me, I guess, a kick up the butt and gave me more belief that, you know, what am I doing? I'm treating this like a side hobby. I'm treating this like, you know, I just want to get free products. I need to treat this like a real legitimate business. And I know Mary and I looked at each other and said, yeah, like, we're going to go for this. Like, this is something that's going to set us up for life. This is something that, you know, we can achieve $1 million business in this. We can. And we got back to sleepy old Perth after that trip, and we hit the ground running, really. We just knew where we wanted to go. And when you truly know where you want to go, I guess there's nothing that can stop you in the way. Nothing gets in your way at all. We were literally telling people that we were going to be millionaires in the company, and we were only earning, you know, like a few extra $100 a week at the time. But we just knew. And yes, an absolute shitload of people thought we were crazy. They absolutely did. But nothing was going to waver our belief. Nothing anybody said was going to stop us. And in a week from getting back from Celebration, we went from director, no star, to crystal executive, 2-star in 1 week. And that was purely just down to having belief and posture, knowing where we wanted to go. It was a matter of starting people up. Similar to what Rory said, we were saying to people, look, you know, we're chatting to other people today. Do you want to, you know, be before them in the business or after them in the business? You know, your time is now to start. So that was some of the intensity and effort we were putting in to get to where we got to. And I guess 3 or 4 months passed after that. We hit 6-figure mark, the 3-star mark in the company. From there, things just grew and grew and grew. You know, we enrolled like Mana, who you all know and love. And yeah, just seeing her get amazing results, seeing her achieve incredible income. You know, she then enrolled Gabby, who you know, Gabby's an absolute firecracker. And then Gabby's enrolled like Amanda Fraser-Jones. So there's incredible legacy happening, and we're witnessing it. And at the same time, our income is getting to the point where, you know, we're able to leave our original jobs. You know, I'm able to leave my personal training job because, you know, it was just something that I realized I could do for life. I could do this for life, and I can help more people with this, and it's going to create a better lifestyle. And some of the things, and some of the little things I've been able to achieve just by doing this, you know, I touched on not having traveled prior to this. Well, I know firsthand over the last 7 years, we've traveled to over 20 countries, just purely from, you know, earning this incredible residual income. We've been able to give back to the less fortunate, spend some time in orphanages in India, and also being able to get married, being able to help our parents, just all those little things that you sometimes forget about. But, you know, remember, it all started from me, you know, not even being able to fill up my fuel tank on a weekly basis to then creating this incredible legacy, creating this incredible business. And to now, I mean, now is just, you know, we're so passionate about, you know, helping other people see this and get those results and see the penny drop for them when they really get this business and really understand what it can do for them. Seeing that moment when somebody gets it is, yeah, nothing beats it. So yeah, I mean, that's the most of my story. Mary will touch on hers.
I love that. That was awesome. And I'll touch on the health side of my story because Jacob's covered the business. So a little bit about me, rewinding the clock back 7 years ago. So I was a high school art relief teacher. I went to Curtin University for 5 years, thought I was going to be an artist, but then my dad said to me, you know, Mary, you can't just be like a poor artist, you're going to have to get a job. So that 5th year was a diploma in education to actually go into teaching. And I was really exhausted, like in my health. Like I was kind of like that girl that would go through Macca's drive-through in between uni. I even walked across from our university to KFC on the reg, I'll be honest, you know, get a 2-piece feed and all that sort of stuff. And I was feeling like I was just, even though I looked healthy on the outside, me on the inside was super shot. Like I was having coffee, chocolate, fast food. My sleep was so poor because I was putting the wrong things in my body. And what that made me do was like not really strong in my mental focus. So I was kind of in this vicious cycle. And I'll touch on the finances just quickly. I was, because I was only getting a couple of days of work a week as a substitute relief teacher, my bank account was zero, like in the negatives. I had loans, credit cards, you name it. And I didn't know how I was going to get out of this, but I was so grateful that Jacob came home to me. I remember it was like a Wednesday. I remember exactly. And he was like, when are you getting paid? I'm like, I'm getting paid tomorrow. And he's like, all right, payday, you're ordering this pack. And it was just like, boom, all right, I need this pack for my health so much, but I also need to do this as a side income. At the time, that's what I thought it would be. So I just started, the moment I put the products into my body, and we all know this because everyone on this call is taking the system, it was just like that light bulb moment inside me. I started feeling more energized, lost that bloated feeling around my tummy, sleeping well. Like you can't even put a price on that. When you start feeling incredible on the inside out and you give your body like a good shower on the inside and, you know, full body reset, it's not a surprise that your life starts to fall into place, that you start being more positive, you start being more motivated, you start doing things because you're happy, you're functioning in a happy space. So that was the exciting thing. Like, you know, people around me were like, Mary, what are you doing? Like, you've got so much energy now. I'd really love to start on this. And I'm like, I'm just doing Isagenix. Like, have you heard of it before? And they're like, yes, no, some knew it, some didn't. And I was like, you know, let's get you started. And it was like that. So a lot of people would just say, you know, Mary, I just want to start on a pack. And I'd talk about their budget and boom, like, let's get them started. And that was where it happened. And I started helping people get amazing results. And the more people I helped getting amazing results in their health, losing weight, having more energy, you know, building lean muscle, all that stuff, just feeling well, the income started to grow, which Jacob touched on. And now, like, I can confidently say, like, I have no more passion than like waking up every morning. And the biggest thing that I really want to do from here on is help people have full control of their health, like how they feel inside out, like really take control, because we can really control how we feel and you know, what we get done in the day. And I also want to help people have massive control on their finances. So I'll 100% from here on and always be sharing the compensation plan, and always saying to people, you know, what could an extra few $100s do for you in your life? You know, how would that make you feel if you had an extra 500 coming in per week? And that's what really lights me up. And I want women to know, in particular, to know that they don't need to rely on men to be able to build an income. So I want to really empower women, particularly from this point on. And it's a beautiful time, as we've discussed, more people looking for the home-based business, more people looking to be healthy, that we can really share and cast this amazing vision. And on that note, I'm going to get into how we can do this. So there are a lot of ways we can share Isagenix. There's so many different methods. And I think the best thing with this is giving people options. Every single human on this planet is different. Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts. Some people like social events and some people just don't. But let's not just pigeonhole people into, you know, kind of choosing what way to share might work for them, because I can guarantee if you give people options, you're going to have the best success. So what that means is that, you know, a busy mum might like a 3-way call, like, or a phone call, or just chatting on the phone. She's busy, you know, like she might only have like 5 or 10 minutes to have a quick chat to you over the phone during her day. Coffee catch-ups. Some people that work 9 to 5 might tend to like, you know, the idea of, if you live in their suburb, that is, you know, obviously we wouldn't want to fly around the world just to do like a coffee catch up, but a Saturday morning or Saturday lunch or Sunday could work well with someone just for a half an hour coffee catch up. And so giving them that opportunity. Then there's also, say, for example, you're connecting with someone over in the US or UK, and we know that the markets are there because we're in different countries, and you want to share the vision with someone, but you don't want to do it over the phone. An opportunity presentation is a beautiful way of doing that. And how you can do that is there's actually tools in your back office as well, and Isagenix Business, on where you can actually get, you know, have the slides to share with that person. And I think that the best thing from experience is keeping it short and sweet, not going too long with these. Like, you can actually do a really successful opportunity presentation in just 10 minutes. Like, if you really want to, sharing your story, sharing a few before and afters, sharing about the products, the systems, the price guides, and then letting them know it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And then there's also weekly events. So Wellness Wednesday, maybe having people around your house on any day of the week, really. And you can use these same slides, or you can make your own, but they're all in the back office if you need them. But I think there's a lot of power as well in doing the weekly events as opposed to fortnightly events and monthly events, because if you do really want to share and help people grow, there's more success if you do these weekly. And then the next thing is that going after that is that you're starting to form a team. So you'll get to a point where you've enrolled, you know, maybe 5 people, 10 people, and you want to help them really build their organization and team. And this can be done with business training, whether it's in person or in any of these methods, as I've just mentioned. You can actually do Zooms, you know, you can do FaceTimes over Facebook Messenger. There's so many different ways, but going through and making sure that they know how the compensation plan works, all the little things through the Isagenix Business. These are just a few ways to share. And I think, yeah, just mix it up. Ask the person how you want to, what they would prefer, and say to them, would you love to chat over the phone for 5 or 10 minutes this week, or would you prefer to catch up at a cafe? So asking people, because humans love to be asked questions and then they like to dictate how they want it run. It's true. And income producing activities. So there's a lot of, like when you're starting, we want to make sure that we're starting our people up the right way, and really obviously getting them before their box arrives, you know, you want to get them set up, go through the welcome call, welcome email, so they know how to log in and all of that sort of stuff. But with income producing activities, I think that the key with this is eliminating distractions so that you can focus all of your energy and time on this. And the truth is that most people starting this business will be working 9 to 5 hours. And a lot of people, like when we started, like, you know, we were chatting to Peter and we would say things like, okay, we're going to get up half an hour earlier. And we're going to work a little bit on our lunch break, and we're going to, you know, work a little bit after work as well. So, and Audrey and James McLeod spoke beautifully about this at Celebration, the hour of power. You can just find pockets of 15 minutes here and there to be, really productive in your time. And what does productivity look like? It's really finding people. So where are the people? Think big. You've got your Facebook friends list, your Instagram followers, the people that are viewing your stories. You've got your phone contacts in your phone, all the people you can shoot a message to, emails. That's where you find people. Then the next step is talking to people. So have a decent chat to them. How are you going? What have you been up to? That kind of conversation. Or it can be a bit more direct, you know, like that you're starting on this program, or you've just started, or you're looking for like-minded people to link up with to earn an income, or helping people with a body challenge. There's just so many ways, but just talking to the people in your network. And then inviting them to a presentation, which is what I showed on the previous slide. So once the person gains curiosity and interest, it's really the quickest thing you want to do is take them offline. So you don't want to be doing messages back and forth. You want to go into like a call sort of set up, or chatting to them in person, because they can't really feel your energy if it's just over text. So inviting into a presentation, and then attend events. I feel like attend events and inviting people to events is a really, really, really important thing. So we, all want this, and we want to make this happen. So committing to like Celebration, committing to a weekly event, whether we're not hosting a Wellness Wednesday or a launch party every week, if we're not the ones hosting it, we need to ensure that we attend one, because if we really want this bad, it's not just going to happen if we're just behind our computers, like, sorry, a bit of tough love, but it's not. We really want to get out there. Now, obviously, with the current events happening, some of us might have to do some of the things online, and that's okay. Opportunity presentation, if that's the need. And then spending a lot of time on helping your team duplicate and work with the runners on your team, which Jacob's going to touch up on in a minute, but working with key runners, the people that are putting their hand up, I want this, I want this, I want to do 5 calls a day, or, those kind of people that really want to go to Crystal Executive, work with them. You can actually have amazing success if you actually work with like five runners and help them get the most results. And distracting things like scrolling Facebook, looking at people's Instagram stories, watching TV, all that sort of stuff. Sometimes you have to put it on the back burner when you really want to build this and make this happen.
Yeah, and just on all that, I mean, who on here is a big picture person? So like, really likes to look at the big picture, and then I guess who's more the finer details, like zooms in on everything, looks at all the little things, real sort of smaller picture person. I know for me, being a bigger picture person, and especially what's been going on as well, like if you look at things with a bigger picture, like let's just look at this list here. You've really got to understand this. I mean, this business that we're doing is so simple. It's not easy. It's not easy to do, but it's very, very simple. I mean, what other business to produce an income has those sort of activities listed? Find people, talk to people, invite people to events. Like that is so simple. It's very hard to find these big businesses out there that, they'll have hundreds and hundreds of things that you need to be doing, that you need to be focusing on, that are more time consuming. If we follow these steps, these simple steps, it's really going to go a long way to achieving success in this. And always remember that it's just simple things, simple little things, day in, day out, that are going to get you to exactly where you want to be. You talk to any leader in this, Rory's done the same. Any other leader in this has followed just the most simplest steps over and over and over and over again, and they've achieved the massive results that they've wanted. It's so, so simple, guys.
Jacob, can I just quickly ask a question on that, just to give some context?
Yep.
So, as an example, and this is for anyone out there that is starting and they're looking for their team or their tribe or their community. When we started, Peter she loved the creative visionary stuff. But she really loved the details of the product. She loved talking on that. She loved getting on stage. Mary was a natural connector. You're a bit more of an introvert, like the details. You could get out there and do what you did, but you got burnt out in that. Then you got the Gabby Deans that, people like Talam who are, really into like the health and, the emotional side of it. And the cool thing is we just all came together and started running events together. Some of us were financially linked, some of us weren't. And we built it that way. And each of us had our own, we all had to do the same dues. We all had to, I guess, talk to people and, connect and run that type of stuff. But ultimately, we worked as a team, which made it easy, because I think a lot of people feel like they might have to do it all themselves at the moment. But there's people in their network or in their upline or sideline or in this community who are living where they live that would be willing to like build this business with them and leverage each other right now. Do you think?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the more that we link up, again, like, there's so many people that I've spoken to, that Mary's spoken to, that, we've talked to them all day about one certain topic of, like, for example, like how to share, what you need to be doing. We could talk to them to wear blue in the face, but then they'll go to an event and hear like Gabby Dean speak and then be like, oh, like I get that now, like I understand. And it's the exact same thing we've been saying to them, but they're just hearing it from a different source. Like everybody's so different and unique, and you just never know what, never think, it's just up to you and only you. It's super important. It's never just up to you. It's so many other people you can bounce off, so many other stories you can take and use and leverage as well.
And that's exactly what we're doing now. When we started, we started local, we're all in the same room, and now we're global. We're all living in different parts of the world, but we're using technology to enable the exact same thing and allowing your team and my team and everyone else to leverage these stories. So this will keep going over the next 12 weeks and even beyond. So guys, if you're out there, feel free to leverage it, and we'll let these guys kick on with some more value to hopefully help make this a little bit easier for you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for that. And then definitely pretty much similar sort of theme anyway, is like another epic way, three-way calls. So three-way calls, very, very simple, but not enough people like really leverage this big component into building a business. It's like, I guess it's looked at as like semi-old school because of Zoom and all that sort of stuff, but it is a very personable way to connect with someone, and just like we're talking about, leverage somebody else's story. Borrow somebody else's belief, being able to extract information from somebody that's doing it even longer than you, and really pouring belief into the person that you want to start. That's really what this is.
Yeah. And I wanted to show this example of how, like on a Facebook chat with Ennis, how he went and booked in a three-way call with Jacob through me and his person David. So I'll just read a little bit out that I can see. So, hey guys, thought I'd organize a group chat so we can organize a time for us all to jump on a call. Mary, this is my friend David. So he's edifying David. So this is what I want to talk about. So edifying in that process. So he's explaining who David is. And then in the next paragraph, David, this is my friend Mary and her husband Jacob, who will be joining us on the call. Jacob used to be a PT, blah, 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 blah. So he edifies Jacob. So this is very important, and I don't want this to be missed when you're booking in calls. You need to edify each person so that Jacob and I know exactly who we're going to be talking to and a little bit about them before we jump on the call. And also, it's very important that David knows who Jacob is, or me, so that he has respect, or he respects our time, or that kind of thing, or he knows that he's got 7 years of background on this. So it's very important to edify that. And then it's basically just teeing up the call. So just offering times, always offer 2 times, and then book in the call. So you can see how we've written Thursday 1 p.m. and then we've locked in a call, and then we've done the group call through that.
Take a photo of this as well.
Yeah, feel free to take a photo of that so you can really look at the lingo in your own time. And then the next one is, how does a 3-way call happen? So you're on the call. How do you actually do it? You're dialing them in. You ask them about them. So I always started off with asking about them. Then I share my story, and then I talk about Isagenix after that, and the packs and systems that we have to get started on. I always make sure I keep the calls 10 to 15 minutes long. Never go over 15 minutes. It's very, very important to respect your time. Even if you've got time, just literally stop at 15 minutes and just say, do you have any more questions before you get started? Are you excited to get started? That kind of thing. If they need more info, then you can send them info and then follow up from there. But that's pretty much how we always follow that structure with every call that we do. And then inviting people to events, I wanted to share this and take a photo of it as well. So it's basically just asking if someone's free. So, hey, are you free on Tuesday night? And then they're like, yes or no. And then it's like, oh, great. And then you explain what the event is. I'm having, I'm so glad you're free. I've got a crew of people coming over to my friend's place who are all amped about hearing about this amazing company, doing some massive things for the world. I have a few spots left and I wanted to invite you along. I have a feeling it could be right up your alley, so I don't want you to miss it out. Kicks off 6:30 p.m. next Wednesday. Keen to come along? And then they said, yes, sounds great. And then I said, oh, do you want to bring your friend along, Elise? She's like, yeah, cool. That'll be up my alley. I'll ask my friend Elise if she'll be free. I'm like, great. It's so good. So happy it's up your alley. Sounds amazing. So excited to see you again. Here is the event details. And that's where I've got the little flyer. I've just blurred out the address just for this. So they know the address, and then I say, can't wait to see you Wednesday. And I just write at the end, can't wait to see you Wednesday. Give me a message when you arrive. And then on the day, very important, text them on the day of the event and say, hey, I can't wait to see you tonight. Give me a buzz when you arrive. I'll be there early, and I'll welcome you in, that kind of thing. So it makes them feel really happy and safe to, in case they're coming alone, they want to be able to shoot you a message or call when they get there. So you take a photo and then. Yeah.
So I guess, as I was touching before, I'm a big picture person. I feel like it's such a heart-centered business. It's a belief-centered business. It's just what we're a part of is, you look at Eric as a person to look up to, his integrity is just through the roof. You just know you're a part of something special. And that's why I don't like to sort of zoom into certain topics and go right in depth into detail after detail after detail. But I tried to look at a common theme that Mary and I do and have done over the years and tried to sort of extract some stuff out of there that I guess I could tell you about. It's very, very simple. It's super, super easy. As Rory touched on, I'm pretty introverted, don't like big social situations, love chatting to people one-on-one or super small groups. So if that's you, don't make excuses for yourself. You can pick up the phone, you can grab a coffee. It's super, super easy, and it's very, very simple if you genuinely care about the person that you're wanting to help. So I guess the first thing is this is a situation. So this can be on a phone, can be a catch up. What else? I think they're the main two. So just phone call, catch up, Zoom, those sort of more intimate, personable ones. So these are some of the things that I guess we follow without actually knowing it. But I think a lot of you and a lot of people have spoke to me about this. They tend to overcomplicate very, very simple situations and think about what I need to say, when do I say it. So this is just the basics of what to follow. So ask a question. Asking questions is so, so easy. It's important to ask. If you don't ask, you won't get. So ask the question. Very, very simple. Let's start it off by, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to give basic examples because it sounds like super like really, really silly, like saying this, but just asking like basic questions. What do you do for work? How's work? All those basic questions. But your job is to get them talking. All right. You want to get them talking. Once they talk, you zip it and listen. And this is key. That you really want to listen. So right now, so that's number 2. So listening, they're talking, they're telling you about work. They're mentioning what they do. They're mentioning how often they work. They're saying, they may mention the enjoyment levels of work. They may mention their fitness levels. They may mention their health levels. Again, if you're not getting what you want, keep asking questions. Keep asking questions. Keep repeating those steps. So you just repeat 1 and 2 until you get what you want. Once you find something, so an example of you finding something that they're answering, it can be simple as, let's say a work situation. I feel like I'm putting in a lot of hours, not getting paid well, and I'm struggling with bills. All right, so that's what they've said. So you've identified not getting paid well, they're struggling with bills. All right, so in your head right now, it should be, you should be thinking, and then from there, let's get them to expand on that. So number 4, get them to expand. So expanding on the work situation. So let's say, all right, so tell me more about your work situation, your bills. What sort of stress levels is that providing? How much is that costing you a week? What's something that would be able to alleviate some stress? So identifying that was 3, and then expanding on that. So they're the basics there. Now, if you're still, because I know some of you thinking, well, what if you still haven't got those good answers yet? Again, you keep asking the questions, you keep identifying, you keep getting them to expand, and you can keep doing that over and over again. So you want to keep doing it over and over, because we don't just want one thing to solve. See, number 5 is solve. We don't just want one. There's always more than one thing. There's always more. When I started, it was like health, finances, all that sort of stuff. So there's always more. So keep repeating steps 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to have at least 4 things, worst case scenario, 2 things. All right. It's your job to get that out of them. So then 5, solve. How we solve is simple. Very, very, very simple, very basic. We just match the products that we have, match the business that we have, match the lifestyle that we can offer to their problems. Okay. So if it's bills, you should automatically be thinking, all right, so they're after, X amount of dollars a week to alleviate that stress. That's what they're after. They're stressed. Again, it's one answer, but it can provide 2 different solutions. They're stressed. All right, so of course, Ionics, those products are going to be beautiful for that person. So solving, very, very simple. Again, just match the products to the problem, and match the business, match the lifestyle. And then 6, progress. Super, super easy. Mary touched on it before. It's like you're excited to get started. You're excited to give the products a go. You're excited to achieve those things that you want to achieve. You're excited to, be able to earn that extra $100 a week coming in, to be able to alleviate that bill pressure coming in on your week. Very, very simple. Core belief. I'm really excited myself in being here for you, being able to support you, being able to reach out to you whenever you need, and being able to provide support on phone calls, getting you to come to events, whatever you need to be able to achieve I'll provide that support. So yes, that's progress. So making sure you pour belief in that person. They should get off that call or catch up and be genuinely inspired to really get down and start achieving that, because I know it's very similar to what Peter did with me as well. When I started, it was, I walked away from that catch up, knew exactly what I needed to do, knew exactly how to do it, and I was able to get the ball rolling straight away. So if you're not following these simple steps, you may be making it very, very complicated for yourself. So strip it back, keep it simple. If you genuinely care, you're already doing the right thing. So lastly, I touched on it before, keeping it simple. Again, it's not an easy business. We wouldn't tell someone this is easy to do Some of the steps are very, very easy, but of course there's hurdles. Of course there's setbacks. Of course people are going to say no. Of course you will have people telling you you're crazy. Of course you may lose some friends, which I did and Mary did. But if you are just keeping it simple, if you know exactly what you want to achieve in this, if you strip it right back and really get back to why you're doing what you're doing, if you genuinely care, I think that's a big one. I think that's been a big theme for us as well.
Yeah, you really want to be functioning from a heart of service at all times, like taking people by the hand and really just guiding them, because no one wants to start this and be on their own. It's all about, caring, the community, linking them up with other people in the team, really supporting them 100%. And that's what makes us the people-based business. It really does. We're connectors, and we want to, build a team of, they all end up becoming our friends anyway. Like, it's such a beautiful thing. If we really help people get amazing results, they become our friends, and we love just being a part of this journey with them. It really is. Like, I'm so grateful to be in Isagenix, and I'm so grateful to be in Isagenix with all of you. And it's about our posture and our energy and how we show up every day that we can really attract more people in.
Because I mean, if you have rock solid belief and rock solid vision of where you're going, imagine you are, I guess, where you want to be in your health and where you want to be financially. What's next? What's next is, hopefully you being able to help other people do the same. And that's where caring for that person, showing genuine kindness to that person, wanting them to genuinely do well, that is so important in this. And I know a big thing, people struggle with is the energy and the posture, especially early on. So the best thing to do is really just get a big, deep level of understanding of what we're a part of. And I touched on it before, like having a visionary like Eric to model off, to lead the way, to pave the way for us. Knowing all the incredible things that Isagenix does for us. So being able to just order the products online, get them shipped to us, have incredible access, to our amazing products in our kitchen. Just so easy, so simple. Getting paid. So once you share with some people, you're getting paid every single week. It's coming in. The residual income side of things, being paid. It's like looking at the situation now. You heard in my story, I was struggling week to week. If I was still in that situation now and with what's going on right now, I would be very, very stressed. I wouldn't be certain on my future, and I wouldn't be knowing what I was going to do next. So if you are not living in that situation, you have an incredible tool and an incredible vehicle to be able to, switch that on and turn that on and be able to get that moving towards where you want to go, because there's no time like now to get other people excited, show them what's possible for them, get them incredible deep level of understanding of their life and how this can help improvement and where they could see themselves in the next 1, 2, 3, 10 years. Once you do that and show them for them, it's going to reward you 10 times over. I guarantee it. So that's
awesome, Jacob. Thanks, guys. Like, is there anything else you wanted to share before we finish off today?
No. Is there any questions I haven't checked the chat. Is there anything in the chat? Any questions?
Yeah. What we'll do, we'll wrap it up. If anyone, because we want to respect your time, guys. I know we've gone for about 40 odd minutes. And if you do have any questions, fire away in the chat box. And if you want to stick around, you can. But I just wanted to really touch on a couple of things with both of you, and obviously say thank you for giving your time and your energy, and just really being who you are and just leading from the front. And I guess one thing that's really interesting to think about is when you guys started as a teacher and a personal trainer, this was a side income. You started for your health. You started to make an extra $100 a week. All of a sudden it's 200. Within 6, 12 months, it's like 500. So you still kept on being a teacher and a personal trainer at the time until this secondary source of income started to take over. So for the people right now that are looking at this as something new, just keep doing what you're doing and then start to build this on the side. Have your community, start to share, start to circulate. Everything that Mary and Jacob were talking about was working as a triangle. And I saw Vickers had a great question of, hey, should he do this get the slides out and do it with someone at a cafe. And I'm like, that's great. But you could also just get them on a webinar like this and really leverage and learn to connect with people who are already 6 and 7 figure income earners. And then you get ultimately rewarded for connecting, and you save yourself 20, 30, maybe 60 minutes in between. And if we all learn to do this and share and circulate, then we can help each other, keep showing up for each other. I think this year is going to be really powerful, and we can have a really big impact together. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah, you touched on it well. I think all I can really think about is just, there's never been a more exciting time to be a part of this company. It's, we've been doing this for quite a while now. We've seen it change over time, and it just honestly just keeps getting better and better. But I think this year there's something special about it, and
There really is.
everybody's come together. We feel like we're all on the same page. We've all got the common goal. I think it's a really, really exciting time, and just know that you have access to some of the most incredible leaders in the company. Everybody that's doing these legacy series has an incredible story, has achieved massive success, and you're able to leverage those people. You're able to take notes, take some wisdom out of it, and then apply it to your business, apply it to your day-to-day life. So we're super lucky to have access to that.
Yeah.
And just quickly, how many people have you personally helped over the last 5 or 6 years?
Personally enrolled?
It's like personally enrolled. I think it's like 300-400 personally enrolled.
Yeah, I think it's just close to 400. I think
400. Yeah.
And how many has that gone on to impact?
Like 36,000 or something.
Which is crazy, right? Because I might have only helped 150 odd people. You guys helped 300. But when we were working together, that created this ripple effect, which, someone brought in Gabby. Gabby then went and impacted people in New Zealand. We met Mara, the Romanian energy bunny that she is, who somehow popped out of thin air and showed up at one of our events. And I just want to share that this is kind of how it builds. There was 5 or 6 or maybe 10 of us in a room, and we kept showing up, kept sharing, kept circulating, and it built and built and built to the point where there's people in that little tree that eventually just capture it. And what people are waiting for right now is for you to go first and for you to get your little tribe. Make it fun. You're partnering with all of us as well. You're partnering with me in Bali, Mary and Jacob in Melbourne. You're partnering with a private enterprise, Kathy and Jim Coover. You're partnering with all these people that have all this other stuff going on, and we're all here to support and help you share and circulate in whatever way you can. So, guys, I want to just say thank you. There is one question from Michael Slack, and he said, as a personal trainer, I think this is really, really relevant about not crossing businesses and pain points. But he said, do you share the opportunities with your clients? He's a PT himself. What would you say to that?
Yeah, so that is something that I was trying to do. I wasn't very successful in doing that. I was able to start them on the products, some of them, but then able to get them to share was trickier because a lot of my clients were like super, super wealthy. I worked in a very wealthy area. So they didn't look at me as someone to look up to financially at the time. But what I did do is was able to share it with other PTs, other people that I work with, other PTs I knew at other gyms. Some clients, yes, but definitely in that industry, you look at every other PT, it is very, very hard to make a decent living being a personal trainer, especially, how competitive it is. And I think any profession, it's with coworkers and people like that, it is, you got to have a level of, respect in that, you're working with these people every single day. So yes, just drip feed them information. Don't be too full on with them because, they're going to be there every day no matter what. Let them see you make your shape. Let them see you do your cleanse day. Let them hear about your results and they'll start to get interested. We don't need to be, going hard at the people that we're seeing on a regular basis because it's going to be in their life no matter what, if they like it or not, because we'll be making sure of that.
That's awesome, man. And I guess a key thing as well I'll share with that is I never used to mix the products with my clients, but I would be doing the rituals and they would ask me about what I'm doing and I could share from a place of authenticity and then connect them with someone outside of the clinic that could then give them that information. So that way, when people come to see me as a physio, when people come to see you as a PT, that's what they're there for. If you go above and beyond to connect them with a solution outside of that network and help them improve their results, they're very thankful of you. And again, for the business, if they capture the vision of the business, connecting with someone like them outside of the business allows them to capture the vision for themselves and still come to you as the PT. But like Mary and Jacob said, the quickest thing to do is actually attract other PTs and other people that wanted to do what they were doing rather than their clients themselves. And also just be mindful. I try to bring into football clubs and things like that. It is challenging to do so because it becomes, I'm a personal trainer. I start being perceived to be working against the sports dietitian and the naturopath and people that are already in the team. So if I did want to get into an organization, I'd have to get all those guys on board and we'd all have to agree and then we could circulate it. But that's a whole different conversation. So keep it simple, connect, keep the main thing. I think that way it makes everything a lot easier.
Yeah, being like a magnet as well. So like even in today's climate with everything that's going on, like being a magnet. So you shouldn't have to go to these people in your work situations, your life situations. Even right now, if people are struggling, if you're a magnet, if you're living and embodying that lifestyle, and people know that you're a part of that, you should be doing such a good job that they know to come to you. They know that you care about them. So they know that when they're ready, they will come to you for sure. 100%.
Yeah. And maybe just don't be that overweight personal trainer that is trying to get people to do something they're not doing themselves. So be that shining light, go first, really attract from that space. And I think that's beautiful. Just one last question, guys. You can shoot off, but I will answer these for people that are asking. Is do you enter everyone in the IsaBody Challenge and do you enroll everyone in the Healthy Mind and Body program?
Absolutely. With the new associate checklist, when you're doing a welcome call with people, you do have to go through that with them. You know, you can't just not bring it up. So it's very important, and it's structured in the welcome call that we need to like enroll everyone in the IsaBody Challenge and download the IsaWalls app, all of that stuff. You know, it needs to be done because otherwise we're doing a disservice to the person. Because what if our person that we start ends up losing like 15 kilos and then we didn't bring it up that they could have done the IsaBody Challenge and then they could have won. Like it's actually our responsibility to do that, and as well as the compensation plan. And a way of bringing also the compensation plan is saying it's our obligation to let you know about the Health of Mind and Body, the compensation plan, IsaBody Challenge. It's our obligation, you know.
Yeah. And the IsaBody Challenge, enrolling in that, when they finish, even if they don't keep up with it to the extent that they want to, they get $200 worth of free products just by putting in their photos and putting in their final photos. And obviously having a couple of orders, enough orders during that time. So sharing that obviously gets people enrolled, and then people commit for 16 weeks. They tend to get the change. Healthy Mind and Body, when do you integrate that?
It's also on the welcome call. I've got like if anyone needs to see it, I've got like a full like my welcome call like checklist, and I follow it to a T, because we need to set our people up like right from day one. It's monkey see, monkey do, guys. If you don't do a welcome call with your people, like don't expect like them to do one and then the people they share with to do one. Like we need to, as leaders, be doing this like straight from the get-go, and then it will flow on into your network and everyone will duplicate and do what you do. If you don't do it, they won't do it.
Okay, so you
got to do it.
You start them, 16-week challenge and Healthy Mind and Body program all at the beginning.
Yeah, and the compensation plan, like it's loaded, but it's just got to be done. It's how it's done. Okay. Yeah.
As long as you've laid it out to them, in you know an easy way. Of course, they don't have to do it, but as long as our job is just to show them those programs. Once you've shown them, you know that you've done it to your best ability, and it's up to them.
Yeah, and that's really important as well as timing and context. There are people that have started with the 16-week challenge or with the 30-day reset, and that's all they want to do. So I'm asking them, but then a week or 2 weeks in, they get really excited. I'm like, cool, here, drop the photo. They do it, and then they start to, you know, as you're following up with them, they know about the Healthy Mind and Body program, and they're going through some emotional stuff. I'm like, yeah, man, do this. It costs $50. You get it for the next 60 days. It'll give you a little email to your box. It's from Tony Robbins' team and all that stuff that we've talked about. And then I know that their mind and body stuff is going to be covered in the next 60 days as well. And I just kind of like layer it in bit by bit. But like you said, bring it up at the beginning, and then, you know, obviously allow them to make choices and give them an A or B. But ultimately, if we got everyone doing the reset, the 16-week challenge, they did the Healthy Mind and Body program, and they got their products paid for by knowing the compensation plan and sharing from the attraction of their own results. And that's a pretty cool business, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Easy, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Someone has asked for sharing the welcome call, but I'm sure that is somewhere. So whoever...
I'll post all that everywhere tomorrow. All right.
Okay. Chuck that in start, maybe. Share that welcome call template or whatever you do. Or even if you've got a couple of minutes, maybe just do a quick live. But thank you so much, team. And we'll see you next week, same time.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. See you guys.
See you.